Thanks everyone for being here with us today. So yeah, the topic today, you can take it. The topic today I'm going to talk about is Dr. Ambedkar's vision of social justice through Hindu code life. So many can wonder what is the connection between today's theme and the Hindu code bill. This bill is one of the largest and targeted to reform the partialized Hindu society, in which women were treated as lesser sex and deprived them from property rights and denied choice of their mobility for a long time. We thought it's really important to revisit this bill to understand and check whether the society had made progress in a way the great reformers Dr. Ambedkar imagined while coming up with that bill. So in his own words, how important the bill for him is to leave inequality between class and class, between sex and sex, which is the soul of Hindu society, untouched, and to go on passing legislation relating to economic problem is to make farce of our constitution and to build a palace on dung heap. This is the significance I attach to the Hindu Code Bill. The Hindu Code Bill, introduced in Constituent Assembly on April 11th, 1947. The bill was moved to Select Committee on April 9, 48. Then there was 4 years of debate, followed by the 4 years of debate, and remained inconclusive. In his own words, it was killed and died, unswept and unsung. This was the probably longest discussion on a single bill in free India's parliament. The ruling party, Congress, were not eager to clear the Hindu Code bill. He therefore tendered his resignation on 27 September 1951 to Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, and continued till October 1951 on request from Prime Minister. While presenting the Hindu Code bill to the Select Committee, he also acknowledges that to take this big step, and acknowledges in his words, to take this big step, and I have not slightest doubt in my mind that society which has buckled up, courage enough to tolerate the large step that we are asking to take by reason of this bill. The bill generated so much of protest from the upper caste and upper caste groups like Hindu Mahasabha and even the members of groups who belong to those castes. And most of the members were accusing this bill would destroy the foundation of Hindu society, which is built on especially the sanctity of marriage, the lineage of the Hindu joint family system, etc. The main objective of the bill is to codify the rules of Hindu law, which was scattered in innumerable decisions of high courts and privy councils. So let's focus on some of the important clauses the bill introduced. First one is the Marriage Act. The Marriage Act is Ambedkar makes act which abolition of caste as a requirement in that. He says there is nothing in this bill which prevents them doing what one regards dharma. At the same time, a reformist who does not believe in varna system or caste or subcaste can marry a girl or a man outside his varna or subcaste. So the law made that the first time the law will make that marriage as a valid one. In fact, if you look at the debates, there are many members of the House were arguing about how even the couples who lived long enough for like 40 years were fighting the case for validating their marriage in India in several courts. Though there are several states which were approved the anuloma, which is like upper caste can marry a lower caste. Upper caste man can marry a lower caste woman, but a lower caste man, which is like can't marry upper caste woman. That is pratiloma. There are several states like Bombay, Madras where approved those, but still it's not valid across India. And then the next class is prescription of monogamy. That is, he says that it's an innovation of this law. And he cites an example from a particular class which is in Tamil Nadu, called Nadu Padai Chettiars. They have a long system of adapting monogamy. Then the controversial one was the permission to divorce, basically. And that's the first time he says that even the cruelty will be can be a ground for the divorce, basically. So he cites and he goes on and cites that the Shudras, basically the 90% of Shudras who is going to comprise of Hindu society, has a customary divorce already in place. So he is asking the fellow members, like the 10% of he questioned that who the law is going to be made. Is it for 10% or the 10% of the law which for the law made for 10% is going to be imposed on the 90% of the population. So another one in the Marriage Act is the dowry. The important portion, the dowry. Dowry, we know that dowry is a scandalous affair. Okay, so the girls who get enormous property as dowry are treated as a gift when they get married, were treated with contempt, tyranny, and oppression. So the bill made that as a trust property. So in-laws and a husband cannot touch that, and she will have the absolute control of that property. So the next one is the adoption. Adoption, that Hindu will make it open to adoption, like anyone can adopt anyone. It's irrespective of caste and creed. So, if you look at the discussion, there are very, 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 very funny way of handling the debates. I've seen it like his humorous side of Ambedkar basically in the debates. So now the last one is the maintenance. The dependence where, according to the old Hindu law, the dependence, even the concubine was included, but daughter was not included in that. So it states 5 points basically for claiming the maintenance when the 5 clear points which can be claimed by the wife when she lives separately from the husband. So the last one was the women's property. Earlier it was a life estate. It's considered as a life estate. That means that she can enjoy the income from that property, but she cannot do anything with the property. She won't have any control because it has to be given to the succession basically. So here is Dr. Ambedkar says there is no Hindu law so intricate as women's property. A woman can get a property as Cheran, but that based on her marital status basically. So the marital and the succession to the Cheran also very complex based on the marital status and her ability to ovulation basically. So this is like it's very complex one. So he includes he says that without codifying this we cannot have the chaos to continue. So in that he includes the first time he's challenging the Hindus to say that even in Shastras the daughter will get the property of her father basically, but we don't follow that here. So he is saying that he is equalizing basically daughter and son eligible for the property. Basically, that's a major important point in that Hindu bill. It was vigorously opposed by the most of the House members too, because they think that by providing the share to the daughter will break the family and their lineage basically. So, see, he concludes the bill asks for nothing more than repairing those parts of Hindu system which are almost become dilapidated. As I stated earlier, the bill did not pass, but the same bill was passed as 4 separate bills during Jawaharlal Nehru's next term in 1955 and 56. Now, let's look at the impact of the Hindu Code Bill, whether we as a society had moved on and progressed as Dr. Ambedkar envisioned, how these progressive reforms are under attack from the Brahminical ruling class. So due to lack of time, I'm just going to explain the effect of the how the Marriage Act is under threat right now. And so the main motive of the Marriage Act was to encourage the marriage between different caste and subcaste. So the current state of that is, according to the Indian Human Development Survey, which released on 2014, just only 5% of marriages are intercaste marriages. Even in that small number, right, after the marriage, the intercaste couples were married against their parents or the society, go through a brutality by the society, even today. You can see them. It's proven by taking the number of honor killings, which was 28 in 2014, jumped to 251 in 2016. Between 2014 and 2016, so it's about 700% jump increase. If you look at that, the 80 cases are from Tamil Nadu. The Tamil Nadu state, which actually prides itself as a shining example of affirmative action to advance itself in fields of literacy, healthcare, etc. Okay? And that was the state which first passed the law for, passing law to recognize the self-respect marriage. That means a marriage can be done without the presence of a Brahmin. So, just think about it. In that state, 80 cases were from that Tamil Nadu state. And the state which tops is Uttar Pradesh, which has like 131 killings, honor killings. Not only that, the Brahminical ruling class is currently hell-bent in destroying the freedom guaranteed by the Marriage Act. Recently, the TN government passed a circular to all the sub-registered officers saying that, asking the sub-registered to check the no objection certificate from their parents who want to marry the registered, do their marriage in the registered office. So the irony is, the TN is the first one which recognized the self-respect marriage. So just imagine the situation where in the other states where there is no scope for this kind of reforms. So the trend of oppression is on the rise by the neo-Brahminical forces who have benefited using affirmative action. Basically, if you look at the TN state, Tamil Nadu state, they are mostly the power, those who are in power is the most backward and the backward classes who are benefited because of the affirmative action. But they do the oppression right now. So they are the neo-Brahmins right now. The reason I strongly feel that Dr. Ambedkar's ideologies and thoughts were not taken to the masses is the lack of his literature in in the education. How many of us had read this literature in our college days? No. I think most of us never read any of his literature in our college days. And the fact is, his literature is not even in the sociology and the psychological and even in the political science department. He is not even in the top list of the authors list. So another way to check is if you ask a liberal educated woman of India how they got their rights, they would not say Ambedkar. In fact, when I was reading the Hindu Code Bill, I came across an article on 2004 written by Ramchandra Guha. The title is "The Reformist of Hindu Religion." The photo is that editorial has is Jawaharlal Nehru and Gandhi. But the article talks about Hindu Code Bill and Ambedkar. Just think about it. It was in 2004. So due to lack of time, so I'll finish my speech with a request to you all to take his thoughts to the next generation, and let's try to achieve the social justice he had envisioned. Thank you all.